I'll tell you what's going on in Cleveland at the moment. In all honesty, it seems like the beginning of one of the most outrageous quarterback sagas this club has ever seen. I will repeat it again and again. Shedeur Sanders will, in my opinion, play more games than any other quarterback on the Browns roster this season. And I'm not just talking about later. I mean sooner than most people anticipate. Imagine this. Out of the gate, the Browns falter. Perhaps 0-4, perhaps 1-3. When things go wrong, this town reacts, as you know. The pressure doesn't merely increase, it blows up. In the midst of it, Jimmy Haslam, the owner, bursts in and declares, "I want Shedeur on that field." What the coaches have to say doesn't matter to me. The personnel may now attempt to ward him off by stating, "Hey, we're overseas. London is where we are. We shouldn't put the novice in that situation. Give us another week, please." However, this is what takes place. There is a ticking clock. There is not much more time. Additionally, everything changes when Joe Flacco loses another game. I'm telling you now, mark October 12th on your calendar. In the NFL, Shedeur Sanders might make his debut on that day. The problem is that this goes beyond mere conjecture. Rumors are circulating. According to people close to the team, Browns ownership firmly believes that Shedeur is the right candidate. Colin Cowherd claims that Shedeur is now the front-runner for QB1 and hasn't merely displayed glimpses. And history reveals one thing. When the owner is thus invested, they will get what they want. Think about it. Haslam has done this before. Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, and Deshaun Watson. The ownership has always intervened and declared, "This is our quarterback." In Cleveland, things operate that way, whether you like it or not. Shedeur is now in the news. Dillon Gabriel isn't making any progress, but Shedeur is the subject of everyone's conversation. But let's take a moment to reflect, because chaos was the beginning of this whole problem. The Browns had no intention of selecting two quarterbacks in the draft. They had assumed Gabriel would be their project, but they were powerless to stop themselves when Shedeur lost to a man they never imagined would still be there in the 5th round. It was stated by Andrew Berry himself. It was not Shedeur's purpose to hold a clipboard here. He came here to compete, and he has done just that, compete. The kid has been on point from OTAs to minicamp. Composure when things get tight, accurate under pressure, and calm in the huddle. He doesn't appear like a rookie in the late rounds. He appears like a man eager to establish himself. A 5th-round quarterback is typically a long-term endeavor, someone you stash and hope to find. He loses consciousness. But Shedeur is revising that script. He is stating unequivocally that he did not come to sit. He came here to take control. Oh yeah, the Giants have just added fuel to the fire. So let's not forget the outside noise. Do you recall draft night? They had a tape, but instead of playing the entire thing, they cropped it, teased it, and then locked the rest away like it was some secret document after the report surfaced that Shedeur had blown an interview with New York. Fans don't believe it. The smear job appears to be clear. This is where the irony lies. The Giants unintentionally made Shedeur the biggest football headline rather than ruining his reputation. They desired for him to be questioned. Rather, they have portrayed him as the weaker party opposing the system. He is now more popular than before. Now it seems like every Cleveland fan is supporting a quarterback who has been questioned, chastised, and dragged through the muck. And that strengthens the narrative even more. Let me also tell you about that Miami private workout. This was no social media gimmick or puff article. This was the authentic version. 15 stone-faced NFL scouts, executives, and former coaches holding clipboards and searching for whatever hole they could uncover. What is Shedeur's job? He puts on a clinic and enters that field fearlessly. Throws with accuracy, timing, and composure during a 2-minute practice with real NFL defenders. One scout let his clipboard fall. He was that sharp-looking. People aren't getting this. He thrives under pressure because of the same confidence that they label as arrogance. He is not alarmed. He is unfazed. He always responds to their attempts to bring him down by being even better. So here we are. The Browns fan base is rallying, the coaching staff is hesitating, the ownership is pressing, and Shedeur Sanders is demonstrating his readiness every single day. Cleveland's quarterback depth chart is no longer the only consideration here. Control is at issue. Who is in charge of this team? Who wants Shedeur on that field from the start? The coaches or the owner? And to be honest, it seems more inevitable the longer I watch this play out. We are talking about more than just a rookie quarterback. We are witnessing the beginning of a plot that may come to define this franchise for many years to come. Whether Kevin Stefanski likes it or not, Shedeur Sanders is taking center stage. Let me toss it to you then. Do you believe that this year, Shedeur will take over? Is this his current team, or will the coaching staff continue to try to slow things down, in your opinion? Because there is little doubt that Cleveland's Shedeur Sanders era has already begun. One of the most bizarre and erratic roller coasters I've seen in a long time has been this offseason. It initially appeared to be the same old banter you hear all the time: camped battles, hype, and competition. The hammer then fell, nevertheless. The Browns officially announced their decision a few days ago. Joe Flacco is expected to start at quarterback. I understand what some of you are thinking right now. Joe Flacco? Really? After everything? And believe me, when I saw the announcement, I experienced the same shock. However, this goes beyond simply writing down a veteran's name. No, the motivation behind this decision is what's so intriguing: the domino effect it has on the other quarterbacks present, as well as the franchise's overall future. As you can see, the Browns had been promoting this four-man quarterback contest. We all heard it: Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Kenny Pickett, and Flacco. Doesn't that seem exciting? It sounds like the kind of fight that excites supporters who hope that a fresh face will emerge and surprise the league. However, you could see through the smoke if you were truly listening. That contest wasn't real. Not in the manner in which they were marketing it, since Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel weren't really in the running to begin the first week. Let's face it, the buzz served just as background noise and a diversion to keep the plot interesting. Flacco versus Pickett was always the true conflict. And the Browns took the safe route when Pickett's injury issues began to mount. The veteran who has stood in the fire, visited the peak, and understands how to restore order when everything starts to fall apart. Joe Flacco is that person. This is where it gets complicated, though. Flacco's debut is not the only outcome of this choice. It impacts others, particularly in the case of Shedeur Sanders, and I must admit that this is the part that truly gets to me, because Sanders displayed genuine signs of star potential in the preseason. He appeared composed, self-confident, and like he belonged outside against Carolina. He made me remember a rough diamond that nevertheless shines through. And yet, he is being ignored. You can feel the writing on the wall, even though it hasn't been cut or traded yet. Are the Browns going to ship him off for a draft pick? Instead of being this team's future, is he merely another asset to sell? And that's where danger arises, because this film has been seen before if you look back at NFL history. Do you remember the Ravens from 2018? They stayed with Flacco, died, and immediately handed the keys over to Lamar Jackson. And everyone is aware of how that tale concluded. Jackson became an MVP. The Ravens started to compete. The question of whether the Baltimore club waited too long to unleash him is still up for debate. Am I correct in assuming that Shedeur Sanders is Lamar Jackson? No. Even though they are two entirely different quarterbacks with entirely different skill sets, there is an uncanny similarity in the story and atmosphere. The young, explosive talent waits for an opportunity on the sidelines, while a veteran fills the void. In Cleveland, that might never happen. Not to be overlooked is the math. 4 quarterbacks cannot be kept on a 53-man roster without making other positional sacrifices.
Someone must leave. Is that Sanders? Is Gabriel here? Are the Browns willing to take a chance by keeping both rookies and making cuts elsewhere? These kinds of choices have an impact on more than just depth charts. They have an impact on draft tactics, locker room dynamics, and ultimately the team's ability to endure the AFC North. And that gauntlet is vicious, man. Lamar and the Ravens are trying to get back to their MVP level. On any given Sunday, Burrow and the Bengals can dominate the scoreboard. The Steelers, who are constantly aggressive and willing to spoil your season, are your opponent. In this fiercely competitive division, the Browns cannot afford to make a quarterbacking error. They might lose a postseason run in addition to games if they make a poor choice here. This Sanders storyline is so captivating because it's about the future rather than just who starts the first week. Do the Browns retain him and nurture him gradually in preparation for his eventual takeover? Or do they cash in on a rookie who seems to have more to offer by trading him while the stock is high? Let me inform you, the kind of move that scars a franchise for decades is if Cleveland gives up on Shedeur too soon and he succeeds elsewhere. We have witnessed it occur. We've been through it before. I'm not sure if this city can bear to watch another QB go through our fingers, Brown supporters. Here we are then. For now, Flacco is the man. If Pickett can maintain his health, he's in the running. Gabriel is clinging, Sanders too. Sanders is the wild card, the one name that has the potential to either be the Browns' future or their future regret. And that's precisely why this offseason is among the most intriguing in Browns history. Since this goes beyond simple roster management, identity is at issue here. It has to do with vision. This concerns whether Cleveland is actually prepared to move forward or whether we will continue to hold on to the past and possibly suffer for it in the future. Brown supporters, I'll leave you with this. What are your thoughts? Should Cleveland move on now, obtain value while they can, and put more emphasis on Flacco and Pickett? Or should Shedeur Sanders stay and develop into the franchise quarterback we've been waiting for decades? I'd like to hear all of your opinions, so please share them in the comments section. It's almost time for the season. You won't want to miss this journey, I promise. And the storylines are only getting hotter.